This must be a micro-crawler channel now. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is one that I actually have been wanting to do for a long time and one that I've been working on for a long time as well. I drove a stock Traxxas TRX4M for 50 hours, which should equal over 100 miles of trails. And I basically wanted to answer a few questions. The number one question that I wanted to answer is, for $150, does the Traxxas TRX4M give you a trail truck experience worth having? So like, can you get into it for 150 bucks in this little truck? Second question that I wanted to answer is, what goes wrong first on the Traxxas TRX4M? Like, what all am I gonna break? And the third question that I wanted to basically answer was, how good is my top 5 upgrades list? And so the results are pretty surprising. I got a little bit of before footage so we can take a look at it stock and clean. I've got a little bit of after footage so that we can look at it dirty, and I have a little bit of running footage so that we can see the process going on. Okay, so bone stock TRX4M Bronco. We have our highly detailed Bronco body in white here. Nice black wheels on there. Different tires than the Defender had, I think. I don't know, those stock ones, like I said, they didn't stay on very long. Yeah, these are some BF Goodrich, so I think the Canyon Trail style ones were on the Defender. Yeah, just getting a good look at it. It's got mirrors. They look actually to be a lot more sturdy than the ones on the Defender too, so I'm hoping that they are. There's the back. I love the taillights. They look really good, really just realistic. Just a great looking Bronco. Traxxas tag on it, you know, because it is a Traxxas. You pop the body off, and you'll see the stock TRX4M goodness in here. Oil-filled shocks all around. They feel and sound nice, so that's cool. All right, so here's the Traxxas ECM. This is the receiver and ESC. It's an all-in-one kind of deal here. And honestly, it's not too bad, especially if you don't mind using the stock Traxxas batteries and being like in that ecosystem. I think it's fine. And honestly, for the size and what it is and how it fits on the chassis, I think the Traxxas battery is actually pretty great. I mean, it does fine, and if you have two, you can just run the truck forever. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a solid platform for sure. And the body's detailed. I love this too, like just boom, on. Alright, so what does a stock Traxxas TRX4M look like after 50 hours on the trail and no maintenance? So dirty. Body doesn't look too bad though. I think I might be getting better at driving. And just inactive suspension. It's just gonna stay there. Under the hood, we're basically looking like you would expect. Just a dirty stock Traxxas TRX4M. I even left this label on. To answer, I know that this is a spot where a lot of people have issues, but I have never ever had an O-ring problem with the Traxxas TRX4M. I know that they are a point of failure for a lot of you, but for me, those are actually looking like they're holding up pretty good. And when I finally do wash this thing, I kind of wonder if I'm going to find any rust on these screws. Okay, so after 50 hours of running, what did we learn? Well, the first thing that I learned is that the Bronco body is a lot better than the Defender body out of the box, as far as TRX4Ms go in my experience. My Defender was pretty much just unusable out of the box. That's why it got modified so quickly. I had a lot of rubbing issues, so bad that they would actually just stop the truck entirely and like flip it over sometimes even. Nothing like that with the Bronco. The Bronco had zero rubbing issues, the bumper was out of the way, the fenders were fine, everything was cool there, and it was a lot less bindy. I think that the Bronco body is just better, and it's lighter too. I think that the lighter Bronco body, I'm guessing it's lighter because I just had so many less rollovers with the Bronco versus the Defender. What goes wrong in 50 hours of running? Well, in my experience, it was just the shocks. I did not mess up the servo. I didn't knock any of the O-rings off the axles. Nothing like that. And I drove it pretty hard, so I would say that it held up pretty well. But the shocks, they're just not very good. It gets stuck at full compression and there's no longer any oil in there. Just not very good. The second question that I want to answer here is, how does my top 5 upgrades list hold up? I think it holds up really well. I think that I would maybe move the servo to if you break it, or if you want better performance kind of thing. I don't think it's as mandatory. I've never broken a stock TRX4M servo. So yeah, there's that, but the bearings are still number one. The bushings really didn't loosen up very much over the course of this experiment, and no binding is my thing, and especially on a small truck like this. So bearings still hold up. I really wished that I would have had a little bit more powerful motor in there, because where I'm used to like a brisk hike, this was more of like a casual walk. And I know the TRX4M is faster than like most mini crawlers, but still, I wouldn't say it's fast enough really for like an excellent experience on the trails. Especially after a while, I was hoping we could get through things a little quicker. And yeah, I mean, obviously brass would have been fantastic on here. Like some extra weight down low would have been great. Shocks would have been great, you know, because then I wouldn't have had any suspension issues throughout the experiment. Because I was just driving it with the shocks blown. I've said we're doing 50 hours with nothing. I didn't do any maintenance, no cleanup, nothing. To answer the last and probably the most important question here is, for $150, does the TRX4M offer you a new RCer, or just somebody who wants a trail truck? Does it offer you the full-on trail experience? And honestly, I think the answer is yes. It's not going to do everything that like the 10th scale trucks would do, but it's going to get really, really, really close, as long as whatever you're trying to do is size appropriate for the truck. It performed great. And also, like, in comparison to my more modified 18th scale stuff, like, the TRX4M stock actually can do almost all of those lines. You just have to try a little bit harder and not have the Defender. I was really surprised with the results. I was expecting significant failures, and I was expecting it to perform terribly. And for me to say that you have to modify a TRX4M for it to be any good, but it appears as long as you buy the Bronco body, you're gonna have a good time. So yeah, so let me know in the comments, do any of you guys have Defender bodies that performed really well out of the box? Because, I mean, I'm telling you, mine was terrible. It was undrivable. I think with this truck, at least for now, I'm going to leave it stock, and I'm going to use it to compare other 18th scale crawler stuff with. I feel like it's a good base, like a benchmark type of truck, so I'm going to do that for now. Maybe we'll see another TRX4M project in the future when I decide that I'm sick of it being stock. No promises, but it might happen. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you like this type of content, why don't you go ahead and subscribe for me? You'll get to see cats, and you'll get to see at least one video every week. I'm shooting for 2 right now, but you'll definitely get at least 1 a week, and it'll be RC related, so something to subscribe for. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.